Thursday, June 27th, 2024. As you can see, the time is 2:38 p.m. And as it remains, the light source, which is speaking to the presence of a crime scene for facilitation where state surveillance is underway, and I remain subject to it. And also legally relevant context is that I'm subject to this criminal pattern of conduct while I'm at work. This is in the workplace. So this is the prosecution of the state of California for what it is engaging in as an entity, and this is workplace violence, workplace terrorism, harassment, and sexual violence as an entity that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. So it's literally just the state's criminal system that's occurring while I am on the job, where there is no pause to the criminal system, as I have fully shown, and literally as I just run the tape while the entity is exposing itself. Okay, so nonetheless, I'm giving what I stated I would do. And if I didn't state it explicitly, I thought about it as I was capturing this video that I got this morning. This is my leasing office right here. This is, well, that's the laundry room side. The wall divides my leasing office from the laundry room. This is where the entity is engaging in group stalking. Inside of that room, which is the laundry room, and on the opposite side of this wall right here is my leasing office. This is where I'm standing outside of all day while the entity's flying around in helicopters, group stalking all day, and the entity's pacing all around in engineer light. So what I captured on video this morning, June 27, 2024, speaking to the presence of a light source that cannot possibly be the sun, and one of a very powerful methods of exposing that, proving that, establishing that, which is directly relevant and probative regarding this criminal system that is demonic at its core, and showing all the demonic aspects of this criminal system. The light source, which you would ordinarily and reasonably so mistake for the sun, which is a reference to the natural environment, and that's completely understandable. That's why you have to document in order to establish, so that not only to prove and prosecute, but to explain, because you reasonably are going to question on its surface. And let me be clear, a demon-possessed and corrupt government is relying on that. Okay, this is the depths that Satan plummets in order to falsely depict an American citizen, a targeted individual, as some sort of paranoid schizophrenic, somebody who's hallucinating, somebody who is not in their right mind, suffering from some mental incapacity, while it is indeed that entity that is engaging in what is absolutely deranged and criminal activity, targeting an American citizen for no legitimate purpose, other than the fact that your condition as a psychopath, which is nothing other than a secular means of identifying a spiritual condition. All right, I'm referencing the demon possessed, and it affects your personality, it affects the decisions you make, it affects the way you live your life. Hence federal group stalking and monitoring. So anyway, this is relevant through the unnatural environment that surrounds me. And while I'm standing in front of my leasing office, and in the picture above, I'm standing in front of the same location facing the opposite direction. So I'm standing, and below I'm standing next to this vehicle, and down here, below I'm facing the vehicle, stepping outside of my office from my office vantage point, and down here I'm standing next to the vehicle facing my leasing office. Sorry, let me go back to that. So it's just a thing with regard to zooming in and out. It does that. Apologies. Let me go back to the video. So the light source remains over me while I'm at the same location. I'm showing you the same location from a different vantage point. That's all I'm doing. And it is capturing the impossible, literally. It's capturing the impossible, that the sun would be at one location, and all I'm showing you, I'm revealing the trickery that Satan is engaging in, the deception. All right, and with regard to prosecution, this is going to be prosecuting human beings for the malice with which they target you. Okay, for a criminal, for purposes of acting in conformity, that is, you're mirroring a pattern. You are not engaging in a pattern ignorantly. It's impossible. Okay, you also do not have a population that mirrors that pattern ignorantly or coincidentally. That is impossible. It is also speaking to the impossible when you have this pattern occurring in a remarkable environment where the sun remains for the duration of the day, and that is essentially what's captured as I am showing you the light source while I'm at the same exact location, showing you from a different vantage point, which is pointing out what Satan is doing through the environment and what Satan is doing amongst the demon possessed who are engaging in criminal conduct. This is surveillance, federal group stalking and monitoring. This is where demon possession is demonstrated by those who represent the Los Angeles Police Department, who are indeed group stalkers. And group stalking is demonic activity. Like I stated before, it is the outward demonstration of demon possession, and it is the identification of demonic activity, those who are engaging in it, which the government is surrounded by the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that they are engaging in. Federal group stalking and monitoring is referred to as it's exactly what it is. It's terrorism and it's state surveillance. So the relevance with regard to those that are in leadership over that department that's engaging in that criminal system, it's engaging in that criminal system in concert with and with full knowledge of the stamp of approval certified by whoever is in leadership over that department. It's not only based on what is reasonably the case with regard to your responsibility when you are in a position of leadership, but I also want to let you know about some spiritual truths. Based on the nature of this criminal activity, you are dealing with the spirit of Satan. You're dealing with the demonic. Okay, so you have what is complicit with regard to what is agreeing with, what is not in conflict, what is in sync. You're talking about the necessity that you are demon possessed in the same way that the demons stalking in helicopters and stalking in in planes, but I'm referring specifically to the state actors. So the state actors are group stalking in police vehicles and helicopters and fire trucks as well, and in ambulances. These are emergency vehicles. This is prosecuted as state action. Regarding the terrorist organizations who want to be assumed as legitimate, professional, dignified law enforcement agencies, I'm showing you their animalistic behavior and the reality of what they are, what they're doing, and why they're doing it. And so this is directly relevant. In other words, I'm letting you in on what a Dominic Choi's condition is. This is indeed a person that is cooperating under the influence of the same exact demonic spirit. And that demonic spirit is in leadership over the Los Angeles Police Department, who are heavily exposing themselves at this juncture in evidence where you are acting in conformity and going above and beyond to continuously communicate a threat to the life of an American citizen, enforcing my rights to not be subject to terrorism and violence and violation of my personal life, every aspect of my personal life, my professional life, with regard to all the means where a government seeks to exact revenge, losing your job, where everybody who you think is your friend is actually a third party and is monitoring you, including where you call yourself worshiping. So this is speaking to a lot of spiritual truths that people need to wake up to. I have been surrounded by demons in what I thought was a church where they spoke the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and they were demon possessed, and they were saying the name of Jesus while worshiping and bowing down to Satan. And let me be clear, it was in the specific environment. So this is very true. This is relevant to the things that people need to learn and pay attention to regarding spiritual truths. And so I just want to be clear, this demonic activity, this demon possession, it is in effect over the leader over this department. And I'm referencing the Los Angeles Police Department, and you can provide the same knowledge and information to the Sheriff's Department. Robert Luna, you are aware of his condition, and this is not something that you are ignorant of, being a servant of the Lord Jesus Christ, aware of this demonic spirit that's operating over a department, and it is occurring at this level in your ignorance, or that you're in any position to do nothing about it. So I'm just speaking in spiritual terms. I'm gonna let you know these are demons. They serve Satan, and they are in position of leadership, and it is occurring on their watch because they're fully aware of it and they're fully engaging in it, and they know exactly what it is that I'm exposing about them as I expose it. Both their criminal conduct and the fact that they are indeed demon-possessed terrorists, and they are the domestic enemy. Okay, you're not only a threat because of your mental condition, which is exposed by your criminal activity. You're a domestic enemy by virtue, which is, again, providing, let me give you some testimony based on evidence. Satan hates you, whoever you are, as you are listening to my words. Satan hates you and your humanity, your ability to be redeemed by the Lord Jesus Christ. Satan has no opportunity for that, and he will use you to the extent to which you will extend yourself. And he is with regard to your constitutional rights, your God-given rights. Okay, these are phrases, terms that we use in our Constitution, laws that are inspired by biblical statements. I just want to be clear: Satan is hostile to that, inherently hostile, and federal group stalking and monitoring is evidence of that inherent hostility. And so you have the heights of hypocrisy that is no longer hidden when the domestic enemy is literally the government that's violating your so-called God-given rights, your constitutional rights. And there's some spiritual truth behind it. Satan hates your so-called God-given rights. Satan hates your humanity. He hates your existence. This hate, this hostility, this aggression is also exhibited through the pattern of conduct. So nonetheless, I will digress on that. I want to speak to this screen recording showing you the light source that's remaining, and I'm referring it to as a light source because it's not the sun, and so I'm not going to refer to this environment as the natural environment, which would include a sun, because the sun would not be present over me at the same leasing office at 8 o'clock in the morning and still present over me, which you can see through the windshield of the vehicle that I'm standing in front of at the same leasing office after 4 o'clock in the evening. This is relevant to, again, the spiritual truth that I just got through speaking about to an extent. So this is the video that I captured, and I want you to look at what it is that I've shown. The entity engages in the pattern of conduct of stalking in the environment where the fake sun is rising in alignment to me, essentially in alignment to my face. That's where the sun rises, generally in reference to the east side. So whatever is the east side of my person, wherever it is that I'm sleeping, that's where the fake sun rises in the morning. And wherever is the general reference to the west side of my person, that's where the fake sun is setting in the evening. And the evidence of that, an example of this, is this duration of time analysis that I'm providing. And don't forget about the body of evidence that coexists, where there's a light source that's remaining over me, and it's in an entirely different region. So it's impossible that the sun could ever be seen anywhere near Alvarado Gardens apartments, anywhere where I could capture it in a picture, in a video, the demons of the LAPD's flying over it, next to it, around it. That's an impossibility on its face, okay? But nonetheless, these are all the angles for you to witness the evidence, the reality of Satan, the reality of demon possession, the reality of demonic activity, and removing many of the veils that serve to deceive people. And it's also teaching about the high level of deception that is going on amongst not only the behavior of those, but also literally through the environment. So it is in many ways opening your eyes. So with regard to me being an American, with regard to me being, a beneficiary of constitutional law, state and federal, I'm just providing a legal framework whereby you can prosecute it. It's under no circumstances precluded from prosecution. Okay, so that's the legal context, but this is demonic from beginning to end. And with regard to the demonic, with regard to what is not possibly happening, Satan is not filling the entirety of the department of the LAPD to the ignorance of the chief of police. I want to let you know he is filled with that same demonic spirit. You have what's an inherent conflict. If you are not filled with that same spirit, there's going to be a conflict there. There's going to be an inability to engage in this conduct. And this is just a spiritual truth, all right? This is not something that I need to talk about in federal court. I'm not going to prosecute on this basis. I'm just letting you know about a spiritual truth. And if this was not the case, then it would not be occurring so seamlessly as I'm showing you in video after video after video after video after video, by the way, year after year after year. Okay, so this is the light source that's over me in front of my leasing office, and this is video captured again this morning while I'm standing next to this vehicle that you see in this picture right here of third-party group stalker Yu Kim. And this is just a point of reference. I'm just using it as an example to, first of all, debunk any illogical, and literally it's not even a genuine contention or position to hold. This is clearly not the sun, and it is clearly directly over me. It's not somewhere else. It's not over the courthouse in downtown LA. It's not over anybody on the 2 freeway. It's not on Clifford right now. It's not over the Ovid Family Community Library in Ontario. It's not over the Fontana Lewis Library. It's not over the Arco on Glendale Boulevard. It's right here over me, which is why you see it through the windshield. Okay, and this is exactly the same where I am standing at this same location in the morning, and the light source is over me, which again, that's speaking to a pattern of conduct that's occurring in this unnatural, this remarkable, this identifiable environment. First of all, Amtrak, audible activity that's amplified, and pulsable audible activity. That's the soundtrack where a fake sun and engineered light covers all the ground. I want you to see at what is 8 o'clock in the morning, the light source that's over me while I'm standing in front of the parking spot of UChem. And remember that light source is seen through the windshield of this vehicle at 3 o'clock, after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's capturing for you the P.O.C, how you're looking at its literal asininity. Blatant stalking, and this is how you're understanding how a crime scene is following you, and the necessity of describing exactly what it is exposing at the same time demon possession.
What you're paying attention to, first of all, there's no mistaking the presence of this fake sun. It's right here. You can see the sunlight, the so-called sunlight. That's directed light. Okay, removing the illusion that that's the sun and that that's sunlight. First of all, that's not possibly the sun in reference to a natural environment. Second of all, I've shown you the character of this so-called sunlight. There is nothing normal about it. Creating multiple shadows, creating light that's appearing both above and below my head, creating light that's in the shade when it's supposed to be shaded, and yet it's just appearing out of nowhere. You have what is light that's supposedly ricocheting off of, no, that's not sunlight. That's none of the, and this is engineered light that's appearing. Nonetheless, you are prosecuting the entity that's group stalking you in the unnatural environment, and you're looking at what is the evidence of engineered light under the guise of the sun and sunlight theory. Okay, it's not even a theory, the sun and sunlight illusion. Okay, so this is speaking to this is supposedly sunlight, and that's speaking to the immediacy. The light source is indeed right here over me, which you already know, but I'm just breaking down how you're analyzing the environment and what is impossible, that it's in a position to aim any sunlight on the seat inside of this vehicle that I'm standing at, literally at the same exact vehicle on June 24, 2024. That was days ago. Today's the 27th at 3:12 p.m. This is what you see above. And the light source is clearly in a position to be seen through the windshield. And I've been so thorough to show you, oh, it's right above the top of my head. That's how it's seen through the windshield. As I am at my leasing office at 3:12 and 8 seconds, 3:12 and 14 seconds, showing you 3:12 and 16 seconds, an 8-second difference, just so you can see my surroundings. That's why I take pictures of what's around me, so it's clear what it is that I'm documenting. UChem is group stalking in the laundry room under what is a fake sun, and in sync with the entity that's stalking by helicopters and the people of the state. This is relevant positioning using the vehicles as you unlock your doors, as you open and close your doors, as you open your trunk. It's creating light activity and the vehicle lights itself. This is somebody that's monitoring using their vehicle and its presence of in the path. All of that criminal conduct is deducted from what you're seeing with the use of the vehicle. Okay, the entity is maintaining the light source directly over the top of my head, and this is 3:12 p.m. I'm standing at this vehicle, the same parking spot, license 8NUS 341. This is the same license plate as I'm standing here at 8:07 in the morning.
Possible to be the case, and in this environment you have seen a population acting personally and commercially, if you will, with regard to the same entity.
You to see the license plate, no question about what I'm talking about, where I'm at, what vehicle I'm using as an example, as a landmark.
The P.O.C, how you're looking at its literal asininity. Blatant stalking, and this is how you're understanding how a crime scene is following you, and the necessity of describing exactly what it is exposing at the same time demon possession, demonic activity. And so that is impossible to be the case, and in this environment you have seen a population acting personally and commercially, if you will, with regard to the same entity that's engaging in a statewide system, as you've also seen the state engage in that criminal conduct. And so this is another vantage point where you will witness the demonic. All right, they're driving around.
So pay attention to that sunlight you see on the driver's seat. That light source is right here over me, and I am facing my leasing office, and up above I am standing at the same leasing office. Okay, steps away from my office door, just walk right out to the parking lot that's right here in front of me, and the light source is over the top of my head. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. It is in a position it's in the same place. So first of all, this duration of time, let's count together. Don't have to be a rocket scientist, like I stated. This is the ability to recognize the demonic, and the demonic is communicating. It's showing itself in plain sight in the unnatural environment. This is where the government is group stalking. All right, and group stalking is demonic activity. It is 8:07 in the morning, so let's count 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 7 hours later. I'm at the same location, and the light source is still over me. That is to the exclusion of any other person. It is not the circumstance, for example, of the people of the state that are driving all around Alvarado Gardens, coming onto the grounds of Alvarado Gardens and driving away, in the same way that the sun cannot be over Clifford, both at 9:36 in the morning and again at 6:45 in the evening. How do you get that documentation? Because the light source isn't going anywhere. It's staying over me all day long. And this is speaking to what is impossible. And this is what, just for funsies, I'm not an artist, but this is what I'm showing you, the demonic system I'm subject to, which is where group stalking is underway. And your ability to identify a light source that you would ordinarily refer to as the sun, for example, in Nebraska, you are witnessing the evidence of exactly what I'm exposing. This system, this demonic system, again, underway by the government and is engaging, and the people of the state, they're engaging in the same system, the presence of Satan as you are witnessing it, and it is impossible that you would see the exclusive sun over you, while I have conclusive evidence, irreducible, that the sun, there's only one of them, is anywhere else in the galaxy for the duration of time that I'm showing it. Yet, you are looking at a light source that's above you. That's relevant context, okay, with regard to what's going on in the world, and it is of the demonic. It is a demonic, I would say a demonic impersonation, a demonic, it's a counterfeit, it's a fake, it's imitation of the natural environment, and it's not even intelligent, nor is any of the behavior that I'm documenting in that environment. So I want to let you know what the entity is doing while it's targeting me. The entity is engaging in group stalking in the environment where I am present, I'm subject to a so-called sunrise. When I'm inside of my apartment at 6:45 in the morning, that's where the sunrise is in alignment to me. That's called stalking in the path with light. It's occurring through the whole environment. And it's letting you know what everybody in that environment is doing. And it's criminal because it's on behalf and in concert with the government, who is keeping you under surveillance and exhibiting their demonic behaviors in that unnatural environment. And none of it is attributed to what is the naturally would happen in that natural environment. First of all, that's not even the sun as you break down all the analysis provided by the P.O.C, nor is that sunlight. None of that is going to happen if that was the sun, in other words. This is in every regard out of the pit of hell, and it's criminal conduct. And it's exposing demonic activity. And I'm referencing things such as the impossible light that appears above my head, inside of a building, while the sun that's supposedly not going to be hovering down directly over the top of my head like I'm showing you. I'm not being hyperbolic. The light source hovers directly above me. That's not the sun. That would set us all on fire, okay? And it's also not the sun because it stays over my head all day long like I'm showing in the picture, where I'm already showing you the documentation of a sunrise when I'm even at the same location. And then as at the same location, this is where the sunset is also. So this is how you get at what is 8:30, where the light source is in at this point in the day at around 8 o'clock in the morning. This is where the light source is. This is where you're seeing it, where I'm facing my leasing office, standing beside you, Kim's vehicle in the parking lot. And then this is where it is where I am at 3 o'clock. 3:12 p.m. The entity is engaging in its process of keeping it at one location all day long. And that's how I can be at the same physical location outside of my leasing office, standing beside the same vehicle, and you're seeing the light source that is aiming sunlight into the vehicle at 8 o'clock in the morning. The light source is seen through the windshield of the vehicle at 3:12 p.m. and there's non-movement of that light source. So this is what you're witnessing, and that's how you're able to, it's non-movement, and it's still at the same position, because this is what I'm exposing, and this is what I've been showing through the body of evidence. The entity is keeping a fake sun over me no matter where I go. This is how you have the mutual placement of the fake sun over me at 9 o'clock in the same way it is while I'm at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles. And also then when I go somewhere else, no matter where it is that I go, the fake sun is remaining over me in this manner. All day long, it's going from this side of my person to this side, no matter where I go, no matter what direction I'm driven, no matter whether it's Uber, no matter whether it's third-party group stock or Omnitrans, no matter whether I get in my car and I drive myself, no matter if I go to Walmart and I stay at Walmart all day long, the fake sun will stay over me and it sets there wherever I remain. That's what the entity is engaging in. And in this environment where the crime scene, that is the specific environment, remains over. It's literally pursuing, which is demonic. It's demonic. Okay? So this is literally Satan that is consumed and obsessed. That's not a compliment. And Satan uses people, and Satan is also exhibiting the presence through the unnatural environment. And Satan's obsession with me, one whom he cannot have, one whom I will always speak out against, is engaging in what is group stalking, using people to do so. And because the state of California is extending itself, I'm going to prosecute the state of California. I'm going to prosecute for that because it's unconstitutional. So it's also inhumane. So the entity it's also psychotic, but the entity is engaging in this conduct, and that's how you get that. That's how you have the light source that's over me at the California DMV at 9 o'clock in the morning. And that's when I go this way. So how do you have that? How do you have it when I'm staying at Alvarado Gardens and this is what's going on a day-by-day basis? This is every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next Tuesday, I don't stay at Alvarado Gardens. I go to the DMV. You've got the same pattern. The light source is over me in the same manner as it is when I don't go anywhere. And day by day, we're doing the same thing with the fake sun. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere when it's going from this portion on this side of my person to being here at 312. And that's why you're able to see it through the windshield of a vehicle that's at the same exact address in the middle of the day. That's how you get that. That's how you get that. And it is showing what is state surveillance. This is a very highly deceptive method for a government to group stalk you in a demonic method. And it's in plain sight. You're just never paying attention to it. Nobody in Nebraska is comparing what you're looking up at the sky in California. Nobody's paying attention to that. And I understand. I get it. I understand that. But this is the reality of what's going on. And it's also speaking to those who will hear and take heed to what you are being warned about. All right, this demonic system through the government, and I'm just going to speak to this country, but again, what Satan is doing in the U.S. is not limited to what's going on in the U.S., okay? And Satan is specifically utilizing the government to do so. The system is already in operation. It's happening now, okay? This is blowing the whistle, if you will, ahead of schedule. Satan did not intend on it. This is why you engage in criminal obstruction of justice, trying to silence me, trying to defame me, trying to oppress me, okay? Because Satan does not want the whistle blown, okay? Satan doesn't want you to know about that. Remember, when I'm referencing the name Satan, Satan is a spirit. Satan uses people. Satan is only walking around because Deputy Jones is demon possessed. So Deputy Jones is filled with the spirit of Satan. Deputy Jones is sitting around stalking with audible activity while wearing a badge. I'm going to prosecute Deputy Jones. Deputy Jones is going to federal prison. Okay? That's the reality of the criminal conduct that is the fruit of what Satan is doing amongst an American government. All right, and that's how you get this. That's how you get this. That's how you have the sun that's in the same exact position where I'm standing at the same location from 8 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the evening. Excuse me, in the afternoon. Which again, while I'm exposing that, because as I stand at the same leasing office at 4:45 in the afternoon, the light source has gone nowhere. And you know that it's seen through the same windshield of that same vehicle. Where I'm standing this morning at 8:07 in the morning. Let's count the hours together. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's 8 hours. Duration of time analysis. There's no sun that's ever going to be at, for example, Planet Fitness. The entity is engaging in keeping a fake sun. That's the direct evidence of surveillance. You do not want to be documented as a company engaging in state surveillance in the United States. In the same way that they're quick to make in this capitalistic society that worships money, I'm going to take all your money. Okay, because you cannot contemplate the level of harms that you are suffering while an entire population group stalk you, and so maliciously so want to outwardly maintain the veneer that it's just merely the operation of a business. I don't know what the target individual is talking about. They're making it up. They're a paranoid schizophrenic. I'm just going about the business. I'm just going to the gym. I'm just making my deliveries. All right, I'm just getting home. I'm just taking my kids to Starbucks. I'm just coming to pick up my espresso from Starbucks that I already ordered. I don't even know the target individual's name. I'm just taking off flight from the airport. The target individual is hallucinating. Okay, that's malice. Okay, this is a never before contemplated level of necessary recovery for an American citizen that's being terrorized by a population in this so-called dignified land, free land. You're going to drain the pockets just on the basis of malice alone. But there are many other bases, but that malice in and of itself. You are fortunate if you survive after I drain your pockets. As a business, you're fortunate if you survive. But I guarantee you I don't care how large you are, Amazon Prime. I don't care how big you think you are. I don't care how big you think you are, UPS. Because you're also going to lose in reputation. Okay, you will be known as the terrorist that you are. All right, so this is the pattern of conduct, and this is the screen recording that I wanted you to see. It's currently 3:07, so I'm going to show you the maintenance of the light source. 3:12 p.m. You already know where it is, but I'm just going to conclude this evidence with the maintenance of the light source. And it is indeed right here. This is P.O.C. Oh, the entity's stalking by helicopter. Let's get that. That's called amplification. While the entity witnesses my exposure. Stalking in the path. This is that system of surveillance that's underway. And they're just sitting around reviewing, listening. Everything that's going on my cell phone is public information. Public information. State surveillance. Title 18, 22618, subsections 1 and 2. And all the people are engaging in a crime right now, which is basis of federal prison, by the way, because that's audible activity in relevant position with the state. That's group stalking in helicopters right over my office. P.O.C. That is indeed P.O.C. And I want you to recognize what is the light source that they're flying next to. They're flying very high up, if you can see that. But the light source is in the same position nonetheless. But I also want you to recognize, oh, here it is, flying directly over the top of my head. All right, flying directly over the office, if you can see that. Let me see. They're flying pretty high up. There you go. This is the entity that's flying directly over my office while I'm in my office talking about terrorism in the United States. You think that's a coincidence? It's not. It is indeed terrorism. It is indeed massive surveillance in what is not a genuinely free land. It's not a genuinely free land. Okay? And this terrorism that I'm subject to as an American citizen, let me be clear, I am practiced in the law. I went to law school. I took the California bar. I practiced law, even though this entity was harassing me and seeking to destroy all of my efforts and my career. I'm going to prosecute for that. Okay, but I want you to understand. This is supposed to be the land of opportunity, not when the government has decided that you will not succeed in whatever it is that you want to do. All right, that's a method of terrorism as well. Okay, and it's not a coincidence. Let me be clear. This is a demon. Ooh, this is a demon, and this is a communication of a threat by Dominic Choi. You know, he knows, and you can listen to me, Dominic Choi. You're fired. You are fired. So I'm not going to in any way turn down the volume of the truth that I speak. You're fired. And this is why. This is why you're a terrorist. You're a domestic enemy. You are un-American. Let me be clear. Demons are not welcome in law enforcement, period. Okay? You're witnessing why they are disqualified and they will be removed. This is under the light source that's, again, over the same parking space where Kim knows that I'm using his vehicle, so he moved it. You're seeing the light source that remains. This is where the light source was at 8 o'clock in the morning. These demons are paying attention to every syllable that I utter. And that's also how you know they're sex offenders, because they're keeping me under surveillance. When my genitalia is exposed, when I'm engaging in private, personal conduct inside of my private space that's filled with engineered light, keeping a fake sun through all the windows of my apartment, the living room, and the bedroom, while people of the state are stalking in the path. That's a demon. Okay, P.O.C. P.O.C. It is currently 3:10 p.m. There are no coincidences in the specific environment. And just wanted to make sure, I'm glad that I stepped out so that you can see what is indeed terrorism. And again, speaker companies is engaging in this pattern of conduct, and they will not survive civil and criminal prosecution. It is again 3:11 p.m. and this is P.O.C.